helping get this show moving, I'd like to bring up my best friend and yours, everybody, Dr. Russell Cohen-Hoffing.
So tonight's show is about awe. I'm really excited to be talking about awe tonight, and some of the things that are the most awe-inspiring in our universe is space. We're going to be talking about space and awe. I'm excited to talk about awe because that's actually how this show started. The name was different. The name was Awe Addicts.
He pronounced it right. He normally says it awe addicts.
It
sounds really bad.
That's why we didn't keep that name. So we changed it, we made the show a lot funnier.
Brought Dylan on.
Yeah. And so tonight we're going to be talking about awe. But let's talk a little, before we get into the science of awe, I don't know, let's talk about, tell me, what do you think awe is, Alex and Dylan? And tell me an experience that you had where you felt awe.
Oh boy. Okay, this is really going to get me in hot water with some people. But hey, this is a comedy show. Okay, so there I am. I'm 24. Beautiful French woman on my right. Beautiful French woman on my left. Substances in my body, and the biggest fire in front of me, it's Burning Man. I'm done. I'm never going to feel like good again. That was the most awe-inspiring experience of my life.
So tell me, actually you don't need to tell me what you were feeling.
What I was feeling was something called Molly. It was great.
Was that her name?
Let's go into Dylan.
Oh god, mine is so lame. Like they asked us, Russell asked us before. Okay, so mine is, so I used to play a lot of RuneScape. Those are the And then when I was I guess 15 or 16, I got World of Warcraft for the first time. Yeah. And I've always been a big fantasy nerd. I grew up in the States in Pennsylvania. I hated it. And so I so distinctly remember the first time I logged into World of Warcraft, and I was in Dunmurrow, and I was a little gnome, and it was snowing, and I thought the graphics were amazing, and I zoomed into the first person, and I looked around, and I was running around, and I was looking at wolves, and I swear to God, for at least a few minutes, I was like, magic can be real. And I had been chasing that feeling. I play D&D, I play video games, I'm like, I just gotta get there again.
I got something to sell you, man.
So that's, I find this really interesting, right? The two different stories of awe, completely different, right? Like real worlds, real-ish world, and a completely digital world, right? But both saying that they experienced awe. And that's the interesting thing about awe. So one of the working definition by Dr. Keltner from the very good...
Somebody knows Dr. Keltner's work.
Go Bears!
I love nerds.
So his definition of awe is that you experience it when you perceive something that is vast, right? And it doesn't matter what it is, right? It could be a perceptual experience. A lot of people feel it in nature, right? That you literally are looking at a vast perceptual scene. But it could also be something that is like art or religion, something that is mentally vast that you can't comprehend. And that's the second part that's important about an awe experience, is that it's something that provokes you into changing your world view, right? And that's something that's common about these two experiences. So in terms of the science of awe, one of the interesting things about awe and the way that they study it is trying to see if it's actually an emotion you can feel. Is it something that's distinct from other kinds of emotions? And there's a lot of different ways you could study it, right? You could study it by looking at the physiology of somebody, their heart rate, what's going on in the brain. Another way, and the way that I want to talk about tonight, is basically by asking people to tell stories about it and to identify it, right? So the first little exercise I would like you guys to help me with is with awe face. Basically, what they do in these studies, they ask people to physically express awe. So Alex and Dylan, I'd like you to use my face as a little puppet.
Oh wait, I touch your face?
Don't touch my face.
What if that inspires on me?
Alright, I'll let you have it. That's fine. But I want you to explain to me, what do I need to do to my face to make office?
Okay. This is like that Mario Party game.
Yeah.
Do you remember that Mario Party game?
Oh yeah, where you can like drag the face
Yes.
to make the other shape? That's
Yes.
fantastic. Really niche, I guess. Like,
Really niche, yeah.
Okay, so open your mouth.
Okay. Oh god. Okay. Open your eyes really wide.
Can you smile-ish while you're doing this? Okay, that's
Okay. Can you get one hand up in the air? Higher.
good. Wait, what is that? That's like a excited.
Wait, that's not my face.
All right, fine. I mean, what else?
Tilt your head to the left.
No, Dylan's screwing with you. Tilt your head back, like a little. That's it.
That's pretty good. Yeah,
Okay, alright. So that's what they think off face is. I want the audience to help me out. This is on 3. I want you guys to make your off face. So Dylan and Alex study the audience.
Okay,
Alright,
all right.
to see if we're
Oh, man.
ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay.
That's pretty good participation.
So that was pretty good. Right? What I saw. What did you guys see?
I saw that Dylan and I did a really good job.
And this is pretty common, right? This is evidence that awe is an emotion. That universally, people kind of make this face where you drop your jaw, you make this kind of gasping sound, and you open your eyes really wide, right? That's awe. But there are other ways to investigate awe. You don't have to just look at physical expressions. You can ask about sounds that people make. So I'm going to do this thing when I want to go to the next slide, so that's what I'm doing. Okay, so what you see before you, maybe bring down the lights a little bit more. So what you see right here is a map of vocalizations of different emotions, okay? What they did is they had 50 or so people just make vocalizations, and then they had thousands of people categorize those emotions. So we're going to practice this right now to see if you guys can identify emotions just by listening to the sound. So this is actually an interactive map. You can go to it afterwards, and you scroll over it, and it makes all these sounds. This is what it sounds like. One more. So I just want people yell out, what was that emotion?
Disgust.
Exactly, right. Okay, we're going to do another one. Confusion, exactly. All right, and the last one? Exactly, right? So again, right, this is purely by listening, right? Just listening to someone's voice, you can tell what an emotion is, right? We had physical expression, we had vocalization. Now, they did go to the next slide. So they did the same thing, but categorizing videos, right? What kind of content makes people experience awe? So, should we do it? Should we watch some of these videos and get into an awe state? All right, let's do it. So let's do this first one. All right, let's go to the next one. And that's all, y'all. Thank you guys so much.